AIM quoted Europa Oil Gas, which has oil and gas interests offshore Ireland, mainland UK and in France, today announced that Kosmos, which had bought into the Porcupine joint venture offshore Ireland, has withdrawn its interest. Europa's Chief Executive Hugh Mackay is here now to discuss what this means for investors. Hugh, welcome.
Morning.
Explain what's happened here, first of all.
OK, Kosmos have advised us that they are withdrawing not only from our two licences, but they're withdrawing from Ireland. So we will go from our current equity of 15% to 100%. And if you recall, in FEL 313, we had a CPR with 1.5 billion barrels in it. So, you know, on the one hand, I'm disappointed, obviously, that Kosmos has exited. I understand their reasons for doing so, but I'm also excited. We've now got 100% of 1.5 billion barrels. My technical team are absolutely at the top of the game. We've been working our licenses hard, both for the CPR that we put out and the valuation, but also for the licence round, which has just closed in the Atlantic margin of Ireland and has been with 43 applications. They've never had more applications offshore Ireland ever in a licensing round. So I think that bodes well, potentially for new entrants, particularly amongst mid-caps and majors, because we will need partners for our licences in Ireland.
OK, so they've just given you this 85%, have they?
Well, we'll be transferring. We've exchanged letters. There is a process. So they've formally advised that they're withdrawing, and we formally advised that we will remain on the licence, and then the Irish authorities will have to approve the transfer of equity and operatorship back to Europa. It's a bit like when they came in 2013 and the Irish authorities took a week.
But they bought in then, didn't they? So gave you money, presumably.
Well, they paid our back costs,
exactly.
And since then they've invested over $15 million in acquiring more than 2,500 square kilometres of state-of-the-art 3D seismic that we got in 2013, processed in 2014, and we published our CPR in May. And there is absolutely no doubt that 3D has been the key of the door in terms of us understanding the Porcupine and guiding our multiple applications in the round that closed last Wednesday. OK,
so where do we go from here? What do investors have to realise about the next few months?
Well, we're still very excited about Ireland. We will be farming out. Obviously, we will have to find probably farming partners for the licence. I hope by the end of the year we'll also find out not only what acreage licences we've got in the new round, but who the new entrants are, who's got the acreage in the adjoining areas, and I'm hoping there's going to be many more candidates that we can partner with, and we will be starting that process right now, and because we've already put a lot of work in. We're ahead of the game. We haven't been sitting there, waiting for Kosmos to do all the work, a passenger, if you like. We understand as much about it, if not more than them, and we're certainly a lot more enthusiastic than them. And I do understand, they've got to prioritise, and they're going to be focusing their efforts in Senegal and Mauritania, where they've got a major gas discovery. Very
briefly, realistically, what are the prospects of tying up again? We've got a low oil price. The prospects are not good there. Yes, you say the licensing round was very enthusiastically bid for. What do we weigh out of this?
Well, first of all, yes, it's a low oil price, but by the time any discovery in Ireland comes on stream, we're looking at 2020 or beyond, and I'm sure by that point we won't be at $50 oil. As a consequence of the low oil price, rig rates have dropped in half. When we farmed out to Kosmos, they were $600,000 a day. Now they're $300,000. Over the next few years, there will never be a better time to drill in deep water. So we do have some time to bring in some partners to undertake drilling. For a major decision about capital expenditure and the development, that's not next year. That's getting towards 2020, when I hope will be a lot better than $50 oil.
Very briefly, though. Next 6 months, next year, do you anticipate a timescale for looking for this?
Well, we're going to be starting immediately on that farm-out process, and we will. I can't promise when we'll land someone, but we're going to work it very hard. We're in an excellent technical position. We've got a very good team. We understand these licences, and we'll be working it hard over the next 6 months.
Good. Well, good luck with everything.
Thanks very much.
Thanks indeed for joining us. That's Hugh Mackay there from Europa Oil Gas.